This you may reject. Harihi Om. Shruti Smriti Puranānāmalāyaṃ Karunālayam Namāmi Bhagavatpāda Shankaram Lokashankaram Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devīṃ Saraswatīṃ Vyāsaṃ Tato Jayamudīrayet. Yakṣa uvāca. Ko mohaḥ procyate rājan kaśca mānaḥ prakīrtitaḥ kimālasyaṃ vijñeyaṃ kaścaśokaḥ prakīrtitaḥ yudhiṣṭhira uvāca moho hidharmamūḍhtavaṃmānastvātmābhimānitā dharmaniṣkriyatā lasyaṃ śokastvajñānamucyate. We have seen mānaḥ, self-aggrandizement, using a variety of things outside and also in oneself. Some scholarship is there. You self-aggrandize using this scholarship. There is nobody equal to me. That kind of haughtiness or egotism one develops because of some achievement in the brain cells. That is how we come across in the world. The world appears to sanction it. It looks like that. The world wants us to be arrogant. The world wants us to be egotistic. And it sanctions. Suppose I come onto the dais and speak big things about myself, people will clap. And if I am humble, people will just ignore. People are people. People do not support good values. They support all bad values. Therefore, that is there. But then we are now here in spirituality. We are not in social sphere and we are not in religious arena also, where egotism alone matters. Whereas in spiritual field, you should not be egotistic. In fact, you should be altogether inconspicuous. Jadaha. So, jadaha, jadaval lokam acharet, lokam uddishya. Towards the people, you should act as if you are a novice, you are a nobody. That is the spirituality. Okay? But it is very difficult to reach that state of wisdom, that state of understanding, very difficult to reach, because people, they give up the family life, they give up the social life, and they come into religious life, and then use religion to enhance the power of ego. then the religion itself gets distorted in the process. And then they move forward and come to spiritual life. And then they cannot give up the religious life, hold on to spiritual life without giving up the religious identification, without giving up the social and familial identification, without giving up the body and mind identification. They come to spiritual life. And therefore they now start distorting the spiritual life or spirituality. They distort it to promote their own egotistic self. You got the point? This is a very big trap. And spiritual egotism is the worst of all. The rich man's ego is okay. He has got riches and he is egotistic. You just bless him with his ego, he will give you some donation also. And so that is the advantage. Whereas the spiritual egotism, it is the worst of all. And they decide that I am the guru. And therefore, now they cannot learn, they need not learn, they should not learn. That is the state in which they put themselves. And therefore, they are not open, they are completely blocked. And a stage comes, the person doesn't learn anything anymore. And whatever little he has put in the head as a set of ideas, that alone is his capital, and the person will be using the same capital to make some meaning out of the society. And people are also like that. So this is how it is a very sad thing that people become very egotistic. And the more spiritual a person is, not spiritual, more religious a person is, more egotistic the person is, like that. You know how these things have to be understood better. You people know better. Sometimes I doubt the whole thing. Suppose you give bigger donation and your name will be put on the top. Is that not enhancing, is that not promoting egotism? And why should you promote egotism? Because you want more money. And if you don't promote any egotism and be happy, satisfied with whatever money comes, you are likely to get less money. But you want more money. That is another ego. And therefore, this goes on like this. It is like the auction, Ganapati Laddu. Laddu is Vishnu. Laddu has nothing to do with Ganapati. Ganapati means ashes only. But now these people have become very smart. They started imitating Vishnu in every respect. Now there is Laddu for Shiva also. Srisailam gives Laddu, sells Laddu. And Ganapati also Laddu. And then Ganapati Laddu. The Laddu weighs 1,000 kgs. They make a Laddu like that. 1,000 kgs weight of Laddu. And then they auction it. They do Naivedyam. What Naivedyam means what? What Naivedyam, what he will do? What the priest will do? You know what he will do. Yeah? If you ask me, I will do Naivedyam in 2 minutes. Priest will do it 20 minutes because the Laddu itself is 1,000 kg, you know. Therefore, if you just do like this, okay, take it, everybody will be hurt. And therefore, make a deal of it. And do Shodashopachara Puja for the Laddu. They do that. They do Shodashopachara Puja for the Laddu. And then offer it as Naivedyam for Bhagavan. And then ceremonially take it onto the dais and auction it. And the rich man purchases it. Recently, the Laddu was auctioned to an amount of some 2 or 3 lakh rupees. And having got it, they ceremonially take it and hand over to him. He receives it ceremonially. Then, you know, he is very arrogant, rich man. Now he has God in his pocket. And he declares, all the devotees come and take Laddu. And there is a stampede. And 4 people died. And 20 people admitted in the hospital. 500 kg of Laddu is on the road. thrown aside. What is all this? And it is all considered superior. Now, you may think that I am exaggerating. Sometimes I wonder I am exaggerating or I am not giving the full information. Hemant, do you agree with what I say? This is how they use religion and spirituality also to aggrandize the small self. This I have covered in the morning, but I repeated, I just reminded. Then we go to the next. What is ālasyam? Kimālasyaṃ vijñeyaṃ. You see, there are words which are Sanskrit, but they are used in the vernacular, but in a different meaning. That is how it happens. Like pramādah is there in Sanskrit, which means inadvertence or forgetfulness. That is pramādah in Sanskrit. But a pramādah in Telugu is a road accident. Now, there is no connection between the two. Pramādah in Tamil is even something else. I don't know. Very good? My God. Very good. In Telugu it is road accident. In Sanskrit it has nothing to do with these two meanings. So this is how the Sanskrit word, when it goes into the vernacular, it acquires a different meaning. Not always. There are cases like that. Alasyam is one such thing. Alasyam in Telugu is delay. The train, 1 hour alasyam. Means delayed by 1 hour in Telugu. In Sanskrit, I don't know what it means, but in Tamil word, I don't know what it is, but in Sanskrit, it has nothing to do with delay. Alasyam is laziness. Kannada is laziness? Good. Laziness, good. But in Telugu, it is delay. It is such a difference in meaning. On the board he writes, today, train timings, Sarkar Express, 2 gantalu ālasyam, he writes. Means lazy.
Swami, that's also laziness.
But you are right, you have to connect it like that. But ālasyam is laziness. Okay? So, how the meaning came? Rasa is you love what you do. You relish. Rasa is relish. Sanskrit and English. That sa gets reversed. Rasa is relish. You relish what you do. That is rasa. And there you do not relish. You hate what you do. Like a government servant, they don't like what they do. But they have to do. Because some boss is there. They have to get their salary. Therefore, they have to do. They don't like it. They don't have any joy in it. But still they do. That is arasa. And the nature of arasa, the quality of arasa is ālasyam. It means laziness, no interest in work. That is ālasyam. So that is a very bad quality. And Dharmaraja is asked to define that bad quality in day-to-day life, how it functions in people's lives. Okay? Kimālasyaṃ. And Dharmaraja replies, dharmaniṣkriyatā ālasyam. That is what he says. Dharma means duty. Okay? So, ticket collector, railway ticket collector, what is his dharma? He should go from bogie to bogie, from seat to seat and check the ticket. And if somebody is not having a proper ticket, give him the right ticket by taking money. He has all such facility with him. That is his job. Suppose he doesn't care for his job. Then what he will do? The trains are all night trains. He will sit in one corner and right everything is checked and goes to sleep. Okay, that is dharmaniṣkriyatā. Means he is inactive. Nishkriyatā means inactive, not actionlessness. Inactive. Actionlessness is always when you are active. Whereas now he is inactive, lazy, and he is not doing his duty properly. That is ālasyam. That is the quality of ālasyam. This we find in people. We find it in people. One should not be like that. Suppose he is a high school teacher or college teacher. Bell rang. So now time for him to go to the class. Students are waiting and there is no teacher. Therefore they are making a lot of noise. The next room class is getting disturbed. But still this teacher doesn't come. He is smoking in some corner. Then after a while, 15 minutes late, he will come. This is called ālasyam. Okay? Delay can happen to anybody, and therefore there can be a problem for everybody, and therefore when there is a real problem, one may go late and one may even skip the class, but when it is his duty to teach, how can he skip? How can he go late? How can he skip? How can he not enjoy the teaching, being a teacher? But the teacher, they do all these things. There is a proverb in Telugu. He doesn't have any better job, therefore he became a teacher. Just to make a living. Brataka leka badi pantulu. He did not get any better, because in those days they used to give very minimal wage to the teacher. And if he gets a better job, he will go to the better job. He won't come to the teaching job. But he did not get any other job out of majburi, out of the difficult situation of life. He came to the job. And he curses himself, curses elders, curses God, curses the society, that he is a teacher. What kind of teaching he will do? He curses the students also. And therefore he is very inactive, very lazy in his duty. That is called ālasyam. It should not be. Then when it comes to punctuality, you go late. That is ālasyam. Your duty is not only to teach, but also to go to the class in the good time and teach in the good time. That is also part of the duty. If class is between 9 and 10, you teach between 9:30 and 10:10. What is that? That is wrong, you know. You should not be like that. You should not do like that. People do it. They are very lazy. They are not conscientious when it comes to their duty, and therefore this laziness or a lack of complete commitment to the duty, dharma, enters into the system, and therefore they remain lukewarm towards their duty. And that is the quality of ālasyam, and we should not have it in us. Okay, dharmaniṣkriyatā, ālasyam. Then what is sorrow? Śokah, prakīrtitaḥ. What is sorrow? How do you explain sorrow? That is the question. Not that the word S-O-R-R-O-W he doesn't know. That is not the point. Or shoka, the word Sanskrit word shoka, he doesn't know. He has to check the dictionary. That is not the point. Or people cry. So there is suffering in the people, and therefore they cry, they suffer. Suffering, shokaha. There is such a thing in life of people, in one's life also. That also is known. So that cannot be a question. Kaścaśokaḥ, that cannot be a question, because it is known universally what is suffering. Then what is the question? Question is kaścaśokaḥ, means you explain the shoka. You explain the suffering in the people's lives. Why there is suffering? This is an important topic. You see, you look at people's lives. When people look at their lives, one thing becomes clear. Whatever we do, whatever, some family thing, or some social thing, or some religious thing, whatever we do, it seems to lead to sorrow and chaos. Chaos and sorrow. Why it is so? Suppose you want to do big puja. It's a good thing that all devotees come and you work hard and you sacrifice a lot, and you strive also to remain without food and all that, follow all the rules and regulations, therefore you are doing a good thing. And so why should it lead to chaos and sorrow? But it leads to chaos and sorrow. Why? Why it has become like that in our life? Why everything leads to unhappiness? There should be, something should be wrong, you know. Whatever we do leads to unhappiness. What is that? So you start an organization to serve people and generate so much frustration and unhappiness among people. Among people who are collecting money, among people who are running the show, and among people who receive the service. Ye kya baat hai? How it is like that in people's lives, why it is coming like that? Also, if you look at the life, each person should look at his own or her own life. How come it is as though we are living on the verge of sorrow? Means at the present moment, maybe we are okay, we are cheerful or we are smiling. But God knows, any moment we can fall into the depth of sorrow. It is as if we are living on the verge of sorrow. Why it is like that? What is this shoka in people's life? Can we stop this misery in people's life? So generally, most of the time, we are caught by a wave of confusion and sorrow. Why it is happening like that? We have to ask this question. Because sorrow is always with us, a constant companion. All people are like that. The guru is sorrowful and the shishya is sorrowful. Father is sorrowful, son is sorrowful. The rich man, the poor man, both are sorrowful. The powerful man and the unhappy man, everybody is sorrowful. Why? And sorrow doesn't seem to have an end. Some sorrow comes and it ends, we can understand. It doesn't seem to have an end because sorrow comes in different forms, at different levels. There is sorrow at the physical level, some illness, etc. And then there is sorrow at the psychological level. Always, constant companion. The physical sorrow, we don't call it sorrows really, we call it pain. We have remedies to overcome the physical pain, beginning with baby dose of paracetamol, to a very strong dose of hydrocodone or whatever, morphine drug. Up to the entire spectrum of pain medications are available. But psychologically it is not easy. It is very difficult to address the sorrow at the level of mind. Sorrow is psychological. In fact, if you look at sorrow and ask the question, that is the question, kaścaśokaḥ prakīrtitaḥ, what is this sorrow? If you raise this question seriously, what is suffering? You see, when there is a desire to become something, there is sorrow. You should have an open mind. Suppose you ask me, what is wrong in desiring to become something? Everybody should become something and it is very normal to become desire. Okay, go and sit on the tree. What can be answered? We are asking the question, what is this sorrow? So, you can see if you look into your life, when there is a desire to become something, then the sorrow begins. It comes into existence. The desire may be fulfilled, may not be fulfilled. The sorrow has already come into existence. And then how to become? There is action. You have to act. You have to do something to become something. You become some small thing, there is a small action. Become some big thing, there is big action. And that action to become is constantly expanding itself. Did you notice that? When did we started this process of becoming? Maybe in high school. It continued into college, into marriage it continued, into fatherhood or parenthood it continued, Into middle age it continued this becoming, into old age it continued, and after retirement also it is continuing. The person is about to die within the week, still it is continuing. Something or the other. So become a US citizen, something. Or become a Floridian, or Californian, something. So this is how this action to become something started early in life, and it is continuing till the person falls dead. And therefore, this is how we live. I am this, I want to become that. And this becoming, I am connecting a sorrow to becoming. Becoming always has happening by action. You got it? That is what I am looking at. So I have to act to become, and I desire to become something. So in this moment, you have given birth to sorrow. Why sorrow? Because I wanted to become something, it must be a good thing. I desired it, and now I acted upon it and became that something. Why there must be sorrow? There must be happiness, you know. Why there must be sorrow? Because, you see, a poor man is there. He is unhappy. Suppose he gets a lottery ticket and he becomes rich. Will he become happy or will he remain unhappy? He remains unhappy. Why? Then I want to get promotion. I am now a junior, I want to become senior. I want to get promotion. And therefore, so then I have to work on it. Work on it means you have to prove yourself, or you have to make the boss happy, or you have to get some political recommendation, support, etc. Do something, one or the other, and you get the promotion. Now you get the promotion. Will you be happy? Earlier you are getting $10,000 per month, now you get $12,000 per month. Will you be happy? No. Therefore, you desire to become, put in place a lot of action to become, and then become, and still remain in sorrow. That is how we lived whole life. Then you believe me, I want to become Swami. And become Swami, you have to act upon it. It is not easy. To become Swami also, you have to act. You have to look at 100 things. And finally, you tie up all loose ends and make everything perfect and get hold of a guru, and he agrees to give sannyasa to you, you become a Swami and remain unhappy. Remain unhappy. Having become a Swami, you should be in the seventh, you should be in the clouds. But no, unhappy only. So what is going on in our life? We have to examine this. So you have to be aware of this moment in life without condemnation, because this is human, and so without condemnation you have to examine this movement, and without having any goal. Why should I examine? What will I get if I examine this moment of sorrow in life? Like that you should not ask a question. Without any demand, without any expectation, and certainly without any condemnation, you should examine this moment of life. When you examine anything in that way, with the total openness and in alertness, when you are alert, you do not condemn or justify or support. You condemn or justify or support only when you are already conditioned and you do not have an open mind. Sometimes it is difficult to speak with people when they don't have open mind, because they have already made up their mind. This is how it is going to be. Nothing will happen. You listen to the other person. What is the point that is being made by the other person? You listen. Even before you listen to the other person, you already give a motive to the other person. Other person is some mischievous. That's why he is trying to say something. That is not the way to approach life. Listen, okay? You listen. Somebody came to me, Swamiji, you are a teacher. If you don't mind, I want to tell you something. Who are you to tell me? Are you the teacher? That should not be the approach. Okay, sir, you tell me. Feel free and tell me. Don't hide. Feel free and tell me. Swamiji, it will be nice if you speed. In those days, they used to tell me, if you reduce the speed a bit, that will be nice. Oh, is it? I will try. Swamiji, some of the words pronunciation is not proper, you have to change it. Then you know what I did? You give a list of words and tell me, give it to me, I will change it. We should be like that. So I used to say against. It is not against, it is against. Look at its face. I used to say altar. It is not altar, it is altar. I used to say dumb. Somebody said, be silent. I said, I will continue to say dumb, please bear with me. You can have that freedom. No, nothing wrong in it. Okay. I used to say jed. Somebody said, you say Z, you don't say jed. No, you bear with me, I say jed only. So you have that openness, and you should not close your mind. Therefore, you make an observation without prejudice, observation without demand. And then why the life has become like this? Desire to become, put in a lot of action, become, succeed, and yet remain in sorrow. What is this life? You pay attention to that. Now, I tell you what happens, when you pay attention. The sorrow comes to end. You believe me, the sorrow, such awareness, such alertness, such extraordinarily persistent watchfulness. You have to persist with it. You have to have patience. Watch. So I wanted to become. I put in a lot of effort and became. Still remained in sorrow. What is this movement in life? Not one time, 2 times, 100 times happened in life. What is this movement? You pay attention to that. The sorrow comes to an end. So I have come back to square one. The same thing here, what I am suggesting. Be alert, be watchful, and be aware of every single motive that is moving in your mind and that is moving you to act. You be aware of all of that. You see, the answer given by Dharmaraja is śokastvajñānamucyate. Without saying that ajñānam, I have already talked about the ending of the sorrow. The desire is ajñāna, becoming is ajñāna, and action based on ajñāna is not going to liberate you. It will hurt you. The action may be good one, but when it is prompted or goaded by desire and becoming, the same action becomes bondage. You need not change the action. You can keep the same action, give up the desire, and see the falsity of desire. That is all. The desire will go. And then action becomes effortless, spontaneous. Then there is no becoming now. Life becomes very smooth and the sorrow ends. That is how we have put. Therefore, the sorrow, in the beginning it is the real cause of sorrow is self-identification. Ajnana it is, ajnana. What is ajnana? Brahmaha, the delusion. So self-identification with the outer is the cause of sorrow. Please think about it. We identify with the outer. For example, 2 brothers, children of the same mother, Sodara they call. Sodara means sa udara. Sa is samana. So it is not about father, it is about the mother. They were born of the same womb. That is the idea of Sodara. two brothers, and they fight with each other. About what? About sharing a piece of land coming from the father. Right? And sometimes what happens, you cannot share the land exactly 50%, because the land is suppose 10 acres, and there is a partition, a bund like partition, which leaves 1/2 acre extra on one side. Now you cannot change that bund, that topology you cannot change. So one brother has to take 5.5 and another brother has to take 4.5. But they fight. They should settle very amicably with love. The elder brother should say to the younger brother, Anna, brother, you are younger, you take the bigger lot. I will be satisfied with the smaller one. He should say that. He won't say. His wife won't allow him to say. And then the younger brother should say, dear brother, you are elder to me, you are like my father, you take the bigger lot, I will be satisfied with the smaller lot. He should say, he won't do it. Because they identify with the property, identify with the land, identify with the house, identify with the outer, and even the body is outer. You see, what you see, called sensation, never makes you sorrow. However strong the sensation may be, it won't make you sorrowful. Sensation doesn't engender sorrow. It is through sensation you identify with the mind, calling it me and mine. That identification causes suffering. Sensation doesn't cause suffering. For example, you see a dead body, that doesn't make you sorrowful. But the dead body belongs to a person belonging to my family, my brother, my sister. That makes you sorrowful. You have to put that my identification there. And you see, why mind identifies and becomes sorrowful? Because the mind is ajnana, the mind is bewildered by wrong ideas. The bewilderment is so deep-seated, even to raise a question about it becomes difficult sometimes, because people will resist it. The mind is bewildered by the ideas that I am this, I am that. So, I am the father of these children. I am the brother of those, that lady. I am the inheritor of this religion, this family. This tradition, I am the inheritor. So this kind of identification with the outer, which may be very silly in some cases, that you identify with a title or with a caste, creed, etc. Or it may be very exalted in some other cases, that you identify with a religion or a tradition or some parampara and all that. Whatever may be the identification, people praise that you are identified, your identification is glorious. Or it may be very silly identification that you identify with the caste, creed, etc. Whatever be the identification, I am this, I am that kind of identification, which is outright ignorance, it makes the mind bewildered. And the mind loses all sense of understanding, all sense of knowledge. It becomes the victim of ajnana and always fears loss and craves gain. And when the identification becomes so strong, it is difficult to convince that what you imagine as loss is not a loss, and what you think as a gain is not a gain at all. These points we cannot put across, because mind is not ready to accept some of these things, and therefore the mind always fears loss, always craves gain, and therefore the mind continuously suffers. When the desire is fulfilled, mind is temporarily exalted, but when the desire is not fulfilled, the mind becomes frustrated and suffers. Therefore, people, their problem, why they suffer? Because they do not know. Ajnana. If they do not know, that is not adequate cause for suffering. They do not know, and they do not know that they do not know. Now they suffer. Because in the people in the world, they don't know Atma. Right? Do they know that they don't know Atma? They don't know that. Then go to a religious context where they are performing elaborate rituals and all that. They don't know Atma. Right? They don't know God. They are worshipping God very elaborately. None of them knows God. But do they know that they don't know God? No, they don't know that. Therefore, not knowing, and then not knowing that they do not know, is the cause of endless suffering. So, why there is pain in life? Because you are ignorant of yourself. That's why there is pain in life. You see, you should know that you are the only cause of your misery. Only cause. Nothing else is the cause of misery. Because everything else is an escape. You don't want to face the larger truth. You want to escape. Therefore, say stars are the cause, or planets they are the cause. You should also know, coincidences do not establish causes. Coincidences happen all the time. Okay? So, I fell, and at the same moment you fell. Therefore, we should have something in common that made us both fall at the same time. Is it so? Arey no pa. Coincidences. You should know the difference between coincidence and cause. They are not same. If you think that coincidence establishes the cause, you are imagining, I tell you. There is a proverb in Telugu. It is called not Telugu, Sanskrit. It is called Kakataliya. So there was a palmyra tree full of fruits. And then a crow came and sat on one of the long leaves are there, long leaves, palmyra leaves, big ones. It came and sat. And then immediately the fruit fell. The palmyra fruit fell. And the crow believes, because of me, lo behold, because of me the fruit fell. It is not because of the crow that the fruit fell. It is kakataliya. It so happened that both happened at the same time. There is no causal relationship between the two. It is called coincidence, not causal. Therefore, I established that whenever crow sits, the fruit falls. No, you are wrong. It's a coincidence. We used to tell a joke, I don't know whether it is a joke. A bull was just sitting and mulling over the cud or whatever you say. It is doing it. Then a fly sat on its horn, a big horn. And the bull is just doing its job. Then the fly asked the bull, am I causing any disturbance to you? No, it is not causing any disturbance. The bull said, you can sit for your entire life, you can sit. So, there is no causality like that. It's just a coincidence. Therefore, what is the root of pain, suffering? Ignorance. Ajñānam śokah. So, because our ignorance means we remain ignorant, that is the only cause of misery. In fact, all suffering, psychological and you can include physiological also, begins in the mind. Ajñāna. It begins in the mind. You take care of the mind first. So what you do is, wrong ideas, you trace every wrong idea in the mind. You trace it. And wrong emotions, you trace, this is a wrong emotion. It is not a valid emotion. It is a false emotion based upon untruth. It is not valid emotion. And so this idea is wrong idea it is. So you trace every wrong idea and every wrong emotion. As you trace these wrong ideas and emotions, they get eliminated. You watch them, they get eliminated. So when the wrong ideas and the wrong emotions are eliminated, there is bound to be spontaneous joy and peace in life. Therefore, śokah ajñānam. So that has to be the way you should understand. How to eliminate wrong emotions and wrong ideas? Be a witness, pure witness. Don't identify. Just watch the ideas and emotions. And pure witness. Understand where is the witness. Don't ask for the location of the witness. Because when you are the witness, you are beyond the body and beyond the mind. That is how you are the witness. And when you are the witness, you are beyond what happens to the body. And we are beyond what happens to the mind. That is what you are. What all may happen to the body and what all may happen to the mind, you are beyond all of that when you abide as the pure witness. Okay? Also, when we discuss this topic of sorrow, I would personally like to highlight the importance of externalization of the pain physical and suffering mental. You have to learn to externalize. Suppose you are frustrated, externalize the frustration. Means be a witness to the frustration. You are irritated, be a witness to the irritation. You are angry, be a witness to the anger. You separate yourself from anger. There is physical pain, you separate yourself from physical pain. Don't identify with it. You separate there is pain, and I am aware of it. You separate yourself from the physical pain. And there is sorrow in the mind. You separate yourself from the state of mind which is described correctly as sorrowful. Therefore, this is called externalization. Externalization of the pain or sorrow is the first step of liberation. First step to liberate. So you step away and look at it. Any pain, you step away and look at it. Even if it is stomach pain or stomach upset, step out, step away and look at it. If it is sorrow, of course, you step aside and look at the sorrow. The physical events go on happening. Suppose stomach pain is there, they have a pill, and you take the pill. Such physical events, they happen. Okay? They continue to happen. The physical event that happens has not much importance. The important thing is you step aside and watch the pain or sorrow. And that means in stepping away from pain or sorrow, means in externalizing the pain or sorrow, you are addressing the most fundamental issue of identification. Means you are not identifying. Therefore, the identification is the problem. That is ajnana, and that is a part and parcel of the mind, not atma. Therefore, there is a self-identification, which is ajnana, which is in the mind, because of which you identify, and therefore instead of externalization, you embrace it as yourself or you or yours, and then suffer, including physical. So, you have to externalize. Whatever. A fever, you have to externalize. A COVID infection, you have to externalize. Headache, you have to externalize. Anything and everything. Then sorrow of loss, of near and dear, you have to externalize. By being a witness to all that. It is the same thing, but I have introduced another important word, externalize. Hold on to that word. These expressions are very liberating. It is not some idea you are forming. These are not ideation. Ideations will be God is there, you pray, He will liberate you. That may be good also. That may be an idea. God is there and this happened, all those are ideas. You know what are ideas. And therefore, the externalization, non-identification, so that alone matters. That means, again the problem begins in the mind alone. And you step out of the mind and watch the mind. That is how you solve the problem of pain and sorrow. That is one thing. Then I will put a challenge before the students. You see, there is sorrow, I agree. There is suffering, I agree. But please understand, the truth never makes you suffer. Never. It is the falsehood that alone makes you suffer. That's why people trying to connect their sorrow with people around or with the events that happen there. Because somebody got elected, I am suffering. This kind of thing. Or because of some movement of zodiac. What do you mean by zodiac? There is no zodiac, as far as I know. Once I met a student of Caltech, California Institute of Technology. And I asked a young girl, I knew her. I asked her, what are you doing? At one time she was reciting some verses and all that, did namaskar to Swami and all that. So I, out of curiosity, when she touched the feet, I asked her, how are you? What are you doing? I am studying in Caltech. Oh, Caltech. That is something special. What are you studying? I am working for my PhD. Look at that. A young girl in 20s working for 20s or even less than 20s, working for PhD. Amazing. What subject could it be? I am curious. Please don't mind if you don't want to answer, you need not. No. I am working in astrophysics. This girl doing PhD in astrophysics. What is the topic of PhD? Supernova. Supernova. Oh, what is supernova? A star in death or something, whatever, a star is being born, whatever, I don't know. Something very unique thing it is happening in the galaxy, etc. How do you know? She tells me, whenever something happens in the supernova, we can record it and we can follow it. That is what she tells me. Then I asked her, what is zodiac? I asked her. She told, I don't know what it is. I have never heard anything like that. What do you mean by zodiac? Zodiac means going in circle. In galaxy, sun, in our galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, sun travels in a straight line. Okay. Very enormous orbit. The curvature is infinite. Zero. Curvature is zero. So much so, it looks like a straight line. That is the path of the sun. They map that also. Now, where from you got this zodiac and this and I don't know what is zodiac. I don't know. So, all kinds of ideas. So, I'm not talking about zodiac. Please excuse me. Forgive me. I am dropping that topic because I am not an expert in it. So, I am only wanted to say one thing. It is the falsehood that makes us suffer. Never, ever the truth. In fact, truth liberates. It doesn't make us suffer. Therefore, if there is suffering in your life, you should search for falsehood. What could be the false that makes me suffer? And you will find it. You will find it. For example, the suffering may be caused by false desire or false fear. Oh, the person may die. That is a false fear. It is not a valid fear. Therefore, the false values, people live in false values. You say, all friends meet and they drink. Because it is a value, you have to entertain the friends. That is a good friendship it is. It's a value. What kind of value it is? Is it not a false value? In fact, there I heard this man was drinking so much for the health and wealth of others that he became sick. Do they say like that? For your health? For your health. You put the liquor in the vessel, in a cup, and say for your health, and drink it. For your health, you throw it, not to drink it. So he drinks so much for the health of others. They end up with fat liver. They should be very cautious. Nowadays, drinking became a social phenomenon, and it is considered class. He is a man of class. Why? Because he drinks. What kind of a value it is? False values and false ideas. And then false relationships between people. False relationships means my friend, my enemy. What do you mean by friend and enemy? All are Atma. If one is a friend, then the other is an enemy. Therefore, the thumb rule, abandon the false. You will not know what is suffering. Truth liberates and makes you happy. I feel very good that Dharmaraja said, śokastvajñānamucyate. Let us finish the verse. Yudhiṣṭhira uvāca. Moho hidharmamūḍhtavaṃmānastvātmābhimānitā. Dharmaniṣkriyatā lasyaṃ. śokastvajñānamucyate. Let us look at some questions. The next verse we will start, depending upon the time. A few questions now. You see, we say like this, what is called prioritization. Okay? This is said in Vedanta classes. Namely, you should prioritize Vedanta in your life. So, it is like saying you should prioritize good health in your life. I would ask you, should you prioritize good health? Or should you make it the all-encompassing goal? What should you do? All-important goal, not prioritize. Health, making money, enjoying pleasures. Let us prioritize now. What prioritization are you talking about? This prioritization concept, there is a problem there. It is not about prioritizing. It is making the most important, the goal. And what is the goal? Atmajnanam. You should know yourself. Now when you wake up before this, in the dark, you wake up in the dark, early morning 4 o'clock you wake up. So, you want to have a cup of coffee and then put on the light on and then do a few other things. Should you prioritize the putting the light on? Should you prioritize it? It is not a matter of prioritizing. It is the first thing to be done. Everything will be put aside. First, put the light on. No, I will prioritize the lighting. Okay, prioritize. When will you do lighting? Let me have a cup of coffee, then I will put light on. So this prioritization is a problem. Therefore, one day I said, forget about prioritization. You keep self-knowledge as the goal in life. That doesn't mean you have to give up your job and go and sit in a place. That is not the idea. So you make it the goal. And you do it and do the right thing. You are sure to get liberated. That is what I said. Now the person is asking, I will come and follow whatever you say. Will I be liberated? No, not like that. Not like that. Okay? You prioritize self-knowledge and see what happens. You see, there is one thing said. Ramatirtha is there. I don't know how many of you have paid attention to Swami Ramatirtha's teaching. They are called In the Woods of God Realization. Some 7-8 volumes are there. It is said, if you read Ramatirtha from A to Z, all the 7 volumes, with love and total focus, not concentration, focus and attention and love, and understand what he is trying to say, you will be liberated. You will be liberated. So then, okay, you say like that, now itself I will order Amazon.com, 7 volumes will come, and I will come and sit before you and finish reading it. Will I be liberated? Not like that, not like that. Therefore, you are already liberated. Just take the spirit of what is said. You target self-knowledge, you will be liberated. You study Ramatirtha, you will be liberated. That is how we say. And what we say, we mean. It is not exaggeration. And how to make it happen? You have to make it happen. Okay, you have to make it happen. That much only I can say. So then I said one more time, you watch your breath. It will reveal many secrets to you. That is what I said. And the question is, I'm curious about the secrets. That is the question. Please tell us what are the secrets that we are likely to understand when we watch the breath. You see, when you watch the breath, first you will understand that life and death are together. They are not separate. Generally what we do, we keep life in the today. Life is today, death is tomorrow. Not tomorrow, after 100 tomorrows. So you want to separate the life and death as far apart as you wish, as you can, thinking. You cannot say, my death will be in 2500. You may not say that, but you want to push it as far apart as possible. And so life is today, death is tomorrow. This is false. Life and death are together. Life and death are like the obverse and the reverse of a coin. And they are here. In the breath there is life. And in the same breath there is death. As you inhale, it is life, for example. As you exhale, it is death. Or, as you inhale, it is death. And as you exhale, it is life. Because what happens is, not only oxygen makes you alive, but also detoxification, throwing out carbon dioxide, gives you life. Therefore, you understand, inhale is life, exhale is death. But then you will further understand that inhale is death, exhale is life. And then you will further understand they are together, and you will further understand they are one and the same. All this you will realize, not just saying and you say, nodding your head, not like that. You realize it in yourself, yes, that is what it is. And then, that is one thing, one secret. You discover it. You have to discover it. Means, you have to watch the breath daily, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. Do the meditation. They call it vipassana or whatever. Do it by all means. You need not attend a course and all that. You just watch the breath. There is a way of doing it also. A few nuances you have to understand and watch the breath. And so, in doing so, you will discover all the secrets that are there in the breath. And then there is one more thing. Inhale is sukha. Exhale is dukkha. That means you just watch. As you inhale, there is a new vigor in all over the body, and you feel very cheerful as you inhale. And when you exhale, there is a small anxiety in the sense that, all this carbon dioxide has to be thrown out, and then I have to initiate the next inhalation, the fresh inhalation I have to initiate, because having thrown out the toxic gases, I am desperate to get the fresh oxygen. Therefore, there is dukkha. Right? In exhalation, there is dukkha. In inhalation, there is sukha. Life is like that. Sukha and dukkha are together. Sukha today, dukkha tomorrow, no. They are together. And they are transient as inhalation and exhalation. Sukha is only that long as you inhale. And dukkha is also same long. It is not permanent. It is also just like exhalation. Therefore, your ideas and concepts about sukha and dukkha, they will change. They are wrong. They will be put in right place. That is another secret of life, another secret of watching the breath. And then, when you continue to watch the breath, you reach a point when the breath becomes slow. It is not so many inhalations and exhalations per minute. How many will be there generally per minute? 16? 15 or 16 will be there. Average. Okay? Let us say 16. It varies from person to person, situation to situation also it varies, and average, as he rightly said. But when you watch the breath, the number falls, number comes down. It becomes, even when you watch the mind also, the breath slows down. And breath becomes even. When you are angry, the breath is uneven. When you are sorrowful, breath is uneven. Whereas, when you watch the breath, you are at peace, and therefore breath becomes even. And not only even, it becomes longer. Pranapano samau krutva. They become even and slightly slow down. That means longer. And then the breath becomes slow. Instead of 16, the frequency may have come to 12 or even 8. And then sometimes you can remain breathless, not the illness kind of breathlessness. That is illness. Some asthma, this and that. Not like that. You are perfectly healthy, you are perfectly alert, and you notice that there is no breath going on. It is perfectly normal, nothing unusual. It is not some yoga power, this and that. Perfectly normal. But you need not make it a target. You don't need it. But such secrets are possible. The breath becomes even. Then one more secret. As you watch the breath becomes more and more even. Then all your emotions become very settled. Because when there is pleasure, breath will change. It becomes uneven. When you are angry, it becomes uneven. All those ups and downs will be leveled, and the breath remains even, and therefore all these negative and positive emotions get even, become even, and you remain in great repose, if I may say so. Like that, there are plenty of secrets. I told a few secrets already. You first get hold of these secrets, and further secrets we will see. And then violence to elephants in the name of religion. Yeah. Is there any organization within India to stand up against these cruelties? There is an organization. And once I was associated with it also, not as an organizational man, and they wanted some help and I extended that help. And those organizations people, they are not temple organizations. Temple organizations won't do any such thing. Temple organizations will do only one thing, that is, expand the temple, put some new shrines. Earlier Venkateshwara is not there, put Venkateshwara. Or earlier Baba is not there, put Baba. Or we don't have Ayyappa, we should have Ayyappa, put Ayyappa. This is the job that temple organizations do mostly. And therefore, you don't expect temple organizations to address the issue of cruelty to animals. For them, God is not in the animal. God is in the temple. And then priests. What do you expect from priests? Priests are not very educated. They are not medhavis. They are not thinking people. They are doing people. They do. You see, you asked about priest, that's why I am telling this story. So a young man, he was very enthusiastic, that hot blood, He wanted to know what is God. I should know what is God. Then he asked some people in the family and in the society. They said, go and ask the priest. What else they can say? Because the priest every day goes to the temple and worships God. Therefore, he must be, God bless him, he should know what is God. Then the young man found a way to quench his thirst for understanding. And so he rushed to the priest and asked, what is God? Priest was, come with me. And he told him, you wait outside. And then he did alankara and all that. Opened the door, this is God. That is what priest told. No, what do you mean by you show me an idol or an image and say this is God? What do you mean by that? Not this idol God or image God. What is the real God? Then priest told, take this prasada, go home. If you want to give some dakshina, give it and go home. I will talk with you later. Then the priest closed the doors and he went home. Next day again he came and asked him, what is God? Today I am very busy. I will tell you what is God. You come day after tomorrow. He went away. Day after tomorrow this guy came and tell me what is God. Then the priest said, Appo, namaskar to you. Don't bother me like this. I don't know what is God. Okay? I know only one thing, and that is to worship an idol. That is all I know. If I know anything else, I would not be doing this. For example, my brothers were engineers, doctors, etc. And I failed in the high school exam, and therefore I became a priest for Brataku Teruvu like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa became a priest not because he was a temple man. His brother died. His brother was a priest, getting a salary of 14 rupees per month. And those 14 rupees were giving food to his brother's wife, and then Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's mother, and Paramahamsa himself. He was not married yet. The four people were living with that 14 rupees, and he died. Now the Rani Rasmani was trying to get hold of another priest. She has to get a priest. Before she could get hold of another priest, Paramahamsa rushed to her and touched her feet. Make me the priest. Give me that 14 rupees. I will do what all my brother was doing. We need that money. She made him the priest. Therefore, that has nothing to do with priesthood and all that. Anyway, that is a digression. The point is, the priest told, I don't know what is God, Appa. I don't know any other job to make a living. This is the only job I know to make a living. That is to worship an idol. That is all I know. I don't know what is real God. If you know, you tell me also. This is the story. Therefore, you don't expect a priest or anybody. A clerk is there. Will he start an elephant saving organization? No, he is busy with his life. People are simple people, poor people. They don't have time and energy and resources to take care of elephants and all that. But there is organization in India. There is one organization in Rajamandri called Jiva Karunya Sangham. One Mahatma started it. It has property on the bank of river Godavari. And they have done great service to animals and even humans who were suffering. They have done great service. Later, that organization fell into disrepute. When that Mahatma died, slowly the commercial people, they occupied the land because land is very precious, and so they have encroached upon it. And now the organization was almost dead. Then somebody tried to revive it. I don't know what happened. Therefore, there are people who are very kind people, who run a place. And in Hyderabad there is a place where they take the abandoned animals suffering on the streets without food and all that and protect it. And then there is Akkineni Amala, the better half of Akkineni Nagarjuna. She started Blue Cross. She started it, or maybe somebody started, and she is popularizing it. She is in charge of that. And they protect birds and animals, street dogs, etc. And elephant saving organizations are also there. But to the extent I could see, the elephants are saved by young people from Canada, North America and Europe. They come, they see the fate of these elephants, which are very they are called slaves. Elephants are slaves. Means they are kept under chains, with chains, and they work for their food, and they are fed very, very minimal, and the day when they cannot do any service, they die. Hungry, they die. That like bulls. Bulls are taken to slaughterhouse because people consume the bull meat. Whereas elephant meat, that kind of thing is also not there. Therefore, they are left to die. In that situation, these young people who are fired by that zeal for saving the animal, etc., they come to India, they collect money, they bring money. That money is not enough because you have to purchase the elephant. The person who holds the elephant as a slave, he sells this slave elephant. Whether it is a circus company or it is a temple group, whatever. Temple also works in similar lines. Temple people are always looking for finance, for revenue, like airlines people. Airlines will ask, if you want to breathe in our flight, you pay some money, then only you can breathe. For everything they are charging. For a cup of water also they are charging. Water bottle, $2. So like that, they are always looking for revenue. That is how temple organizations are, looking for revenue. They are not out to serve animals and all that. Therefore, these young men, they come to India, they collect money, they appeal for donations, and then they purchase the elephant. It is a process. You have to produce documents and all that. Otherwise, the police will come and create a trouble. Then the police also have to approve the purchase so that they won't come in the way. Because the elephant has to be transported on the road, the police will start demanding punishment, penalty, this and that. Therefore, they involve the police officer, local police officer, and finalize the document, and then pay the money, get it stamped, and in the presence of the police, they take charge of the elephant on the roadside. And then they prepare to take it to a place where it is kept for a while. Veterinary doctor will treat it, and it is kept in a larger area for a while. And then when they think that it can now go into the wild, they take it into the wild and leave it in the wilderness. But if it comes back, they take it and take care of it. They do a great service. They are really God on earth. Very great service they do to elephant. Elephant is a very majestic animal. To see that it is suffering and then to see somebody is helping it, very divine thing it is, very divine. Om Purnamada Purnamidam.
Ask him to wait, small announcement.
Yeah. So this concludes today's class. The Yakṣapraśnāḥ class is concluded. We have successfully finished 94 verses. And then, but a few more verses are there which have to wait. I assure you, in the next session, we'll finish Yakṣapraśnāḥ by all means, certainly. And now, next session, next year, 2025, it will be announced later. A few things have to be tied up, and next year it will be there. And no point in hiding, there is no effort to hide also. sometime in the month of May 2025. Let us hope Ishvara's grace, Krupa, we should be able to do it. And then thank you for all your attention. And now there is an announcement. Om.
Register your donation so that we can track. All this information has already been shared with everyone. If you have any questions, reach out to us. And as far as online people, if you want us to read a message, it depends on the number of messages we get. Please send not more than 3 to 4 sentences per message to bvk.satsang@gmail.com, and we will try to accommodate that request of your messages reading. As far as the people speaking, some of you have already approached. So if you want to speak, not more than 3 minutes. So please come to us and we'll try to accommodate you. Already few speakers we know, but in addition, if anybody wants to speak, please let us know. That's it.
Very nice.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Please help to put the chairs away in the garage after the class tomorrow.
After the class tomorrow. Okay.